This is Getting to Know Me, and I'm Jack from Marchant Music.
Hey! I love how you clapped yourself. Mate.
Yeah, good. I'm living the dream. What about you?
Yeah, I'll get this in. What are you up to?
Today I've just been carpet shopping, if I'm honest, trying to get some carpets for my house.
Fun times.
Just had it painted, and then tomorrow getting like the TV put up and all the like decoration-y bits. I suppose not really decorations, but you know what I mean, like things
All the
like
fun
that put up. Yeah, exactly. Things you need. And then
No, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Do you
that's
want
all
to
right.
talk about
Anytime.
telling everyone a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Jack. My company is Marchant Music. I'm a music producer, engineer. I write music, not so much lyrics. Sometimes I work with people on their lyrics, but my main goal is mostly just writing the music and producing the songs for singers and other artists where they need help.
Amazing. What's been like the best project you've ever worked on?
Well, I worked on one with a guy called Jack Bruce. That was pretty sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Two now, two's done.
I've done two, yes.
We've done
Yes,
two,
yeah.
we've done two.
So outside of that, I've done like Warner Chapel, which I'm quite proud of, and I'll be getting some new jobs with them in the new year. Some new placements coming out. I've worked with all the members of the Jewelers, Giorgio Music, Armada, which is Armored Van Buren's label, and just loads of unsigned artists that are really cool as well. Like, so there's so many cool artists out there.
Brilliant.
That's
Good
all.
stuff. How did you just get into music? What made you get into it? Like,
Well, when I was like a kid, my dad was in like a heavy metal band that were quite popular. So they were called Pagan Altar, and they were, quite popular around like Europe and UK. So we used to, when I was like young, sort of 6 years old to like about, I don't know, till I can remember really. Like, I used to get dragged around a lot of studios with him because he had me on the weekends, so they'd always be practicing, and then they'd have to like keep me in the rooms because they weren't really meant to have like kids in there. So
correct.
I know exactly. It's right. And then there's me going to the little shop guy in the studio, like, "Can I have a Mars bar? Can I have a Twix?" And just eating chocolate, like, listening to this like heavy metal and play. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I know. I think they're just quite inspiring, when you're that young, you kind of learn, you kind of look up to things like that. And I started doing like drum lessons when I was in year four, I think. But I didn't stick that out very long. And then I kind of didn't do much until I was about 12 or 13, and I started playing the guitar. And then my friend's dad or stepdad owned a music studio in Greenwich called Zodiac Studios, and when I was like old enough to work, I started working in the studio, just like setting up rehearsal rooms and then sitting in on engineering and producing sessions, and just kind of learnt it that way.
Amazing, man. That's so sick.
So you've been in your whole life then, really?
Yeah, I suppose I've been around it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's really good.
No, that's sick. That is so cool. Have you got like a favourite memory from like back then?
Oh, God. Oh, there's so many. I don't remember which studio was which because we used to go to so many. But I think one was like Terminal Studios, which is still there now. But it was. I think it was a bit of a higher end rehearsal space. So you used to meet like a lot of artists and stuff there, which was a bit mental. But yeah, I just like being in the kind of rehearsal rooms with them really, and trying to get to play guitars that I couldn't actually obviously play back then, or having goes on the drum kit, and the band and everyone else were like really supportive, and I think back then there was a band in the kind of who were quite popular in the late 80s/90s in that kind of metal scene, who were called like Rock Goddess. And yeah, they were just rehearsing at the studio one day and bumped into each other. And because like me and my brothers were all kids, they were like obsessed with us. And then, we ended up just hanging out for the whole night until God knows what time it was. So that was pretty cool.
God, that sounds wicked.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
It was a cool experience.
Yeah, that sounds it. It sounds it.
When you're starting a new project with someone, or they're coming into your studio to work with you, what does the process look like for someone that has never been into a studio to create it? How does that go down?
Well, I just like to meet them first, I suppose, before we even go into a studio, and just make sure like I like the person and they like me, and we get on well. I think it's important to like the people you're going to work with, and I think sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes you do kind of work with someone and you kind of don't really gel on a personal level, and it can kind of affect like how you work together professionally. So I think that's always like the first step is always that. And then I suppose it's just getting to know what the artist wants from their song, who are they into, who are their inspirations, what kind of sounds and mixes. I try and get as much information as I can. And then I'll usually just sit down with them and record like a guide vocal. If they haven't already got the music themselves, then I'll usually just sit down and record a vocal to a kind of tempo and click track, and then start building around that for this type of music they want to do. And then once that's all built, I'll kind of get them back in to do the kind of final vocals, because I think in music, everything these days is, the vocals the main focus point. So I feel like from a production and structural point of view, everything has to be built around the vocal.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
ever have it where people fit, and they'll say to you, "I want this to be, say, a country track," and then you hear the vocals and they lay it down, and then you're like, "Actually, this sounds more like a different type of pop track or R&B or something." Do you ever?
Yeah.
Do you ever?
Yeah. Funnily enough, Jack, no, this actually happened with him. So he come in with "Tell Me," which I think it was a dance song originally. Yeah, but then the way it was being sung and structured, and it just sounded like it wanted to lean more into like kind of pop country, and I think it's a good choice. So yeah, and it
You
suited it.
smashed it. You smashed it.
You smashed it. You nailed it.
Yes.
High five, high five. No, that was great.
So
That was great.
yeah, I think sometimes as well, like outside of that, I think, sometimes people hear trends in the music industry, like whether it is like, oh, country's popular or pop punk's popular. And then people sometimes just want to jump on that trend, but it doesn't, their voice or the way they are just doesn't lend itself to doing that. And it's like sometimes you're better off just sticking to, what you are good at
Yeah,
and
well,
just.
yeah. That was actually going to be my next question. Do you think it's good to follow trends? But you kind of just answered it.
Well, I say yes and no. I think, sometimes trends can fit in with what you do, and then, you can jump on it then. But I think sometimes as well, like doing something that's not yourself is quite bad as well. I think it'd be, quite damaging to your, I suppose, however you're trying to pursue your career, really. Because, some people are like fantastic singers in like R&B and pop, but then they'll try and do a rock song or like a pop punk song because it's popular, um, and then they'll just won't have that kind of rocky voice, and it just it doesn't really fit with the whole kind of genre. So they're like, well, let's kind of try and move it back.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Who would you say
Makes sense.
you're listening to, obsessed with, or whatever at the moment? Playlist.
Well, funnily enough, obviously we just have like it's Spotify and YouTube wrapped up or whatever. It's like at the end of the year, yeah. And my number one um number one artist is Corey Marks.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, and the number one song was a song called 17 by him. So that's kind
I
of
need
a
to
big
do
one.
this. How do we do it? I need to do it manually.
Yeah.
I think you just go on it, like, because I'll be honest, I use YouTube Music more because it gives you like podcasts and documentaries and stuff. But they've just brought it out, and I know you just select under like your profile, and it'll say like YouTube Wrapped or whatever it is to be them. So yeah, it comes out like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be a bit scared to look at mine because I do like have a habit of like having a drink and then putting on the Spice Girls and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what's on my playlist.
I've just clicked onto mine now. I've literally just clicked on. I'm like, let me just see. It says my top genres are soft pop, melodic rap, pop soul, dance, and country.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
okay.
great. Sometimes it's quite cool to see like.
Listening age is 34, so that's good because I'm 38. So I'm actually younger, really. And my top pick is actually Ocean's "Spirit Lead Me," which is a church song by Liv Holland.
Oh
Fantastic.
wow. Okay.
Number
I
number two,
quite like it because you get to
Control.
see what different people are into and like listening to it. Everyone like has something so different on their like, playlist. When you
Yeah.
pick it up, it's like, God, all right, you'd never expect that.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
What's the piece of advice you've ever received from someone when going into this like production lifestyle?
Oh God, yeah. God. Don't know. You know what? I had a really good one last time, and now I've got mind blank. I've like, forgotten what it was. That's a really good answer. Can we get the other one?
Yeah, so basically we did a recording before, but the quality was too bad, so we've had to get Jack in again to do another one. So this is Jack's second time with us.
I
I'll try
promise
and drop
my
it
work quality is better. It usually is better.
in. Here's a piece of advice: don't Zoom for podcasts.
Yeah.
No,
What about Jack? What about the
no,
best advice you've given someone that is starting out or wants to be the next
I
you?
think I think sometimes just like being true, being yourself, like and stop trying to be everyone else because I think at one point in their lives, like it doesn't matter who it is, Corey Marks or church person, whoever it is, before they were famous, they were just being themselves and doing what they loved. And, I think that's a really important thing to know. I don't think many people that got really popular
Yeah,
were trying to be someone else. Like, do you know what I mean? They might have been inspired by other people, like, but that doesn't mean you have to be them.
100%. Where do you see yourself in like the next couple of years? What do you want to achieve?
I'm probably in bed, like, I'll probably be tired by then.
That's sorry, I put them in today.
Yeah, it's got, I've done enough work for the rest of my life now. I just like.
Oh, Jack. Retire. I need you.
Well, next year, in the summer, I'm planning on building the studio, so down where I live. So that'll be an interesting project. I've got, quite a few people that are in my family are like builders, like some sort of builder, like architects, like woodworkers, plasterers, plumbers, whatever. So yeah, I think that's going to be a fun project to work on, and hopefully that will be up and running in 2 years. So you know, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Hope
100%.
it's to be coming through.
Yeah,
You'll be a household name.
Yes, you will.
If you wasn't, is it? what do you think you would do for a job? What would have been your second option?
Oh God, I don't know really. I was working in live events before, but I suppose that's kind of to do with music. I'd probably just do something really easy, like I don't know, like just work in a shop or something. I don't like hard work. No, I just like stacking shelves or in card factory, just going, yeah, I think right.
I love it. There's nothing like
Whatever it is.
Could have picked really good discounts.
I'm like, if I'm not interested in something, then I just want to do like the easiest thing, and so I can
Yeah,
just like don't have to put much effort into it, and then go home and do something that I like.
makes sense.
if there is anyone that's watching that works in Card Factory, hit him up. Hit him up. He's
Yeah,
retiring soon, apparently.
Yeah, give it 2 years. You got 2 years left.
2 years he's going to be tired
Yeah.
of working
So
car
like,
factory.
no more, no more. Right.
He might be able to get a free of helium or something.
Yeah.
It's a yearly
Right.
bonus, 30 worth of gas.
Jeff, thanks so much for coming back on, mate. We really appreciated it. Really
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it, mate.
you.
It's been a pleasure coming on and talking to you, and it's been real fun. Had a laugh.
As usual.
If you ever need any birthday cards, you know.
Yeah.
Lastly, tell everyone where they can find you on your social medias and all your platforms.
I feel like I don't really like people, so I just like to hide, but yeah, yeah, my socials are all Marchant music. So yeah, there is like this girl who's living in America who's like, oh, my phone fell off. Sorry, it just knocked. Oh,
That's because you was about to talk. You was about to start slagging someone off there.
well, I'm going to anyway. I'm going to. So yeah, basically, she's a singer from in like America or something, but she's only a singer. She's not a producer, so it's not like competition or anything. But she did take Marchant music, but I like to believe I was the original one. So, I saw her on TikTok and I was like, well, I've got to get more followers than you now. So I did.
Oh, that is amazing. That is so good.
Actually, message her and get her on.
Yeah, get her on there. Get some. Who
She's
is the
on next
real
week. She's
Marchant?
on next week.
Have a battle like who's real Marchant music.
You could collaborate, and it could be like Eminem.
Yeah, exactly. With the real one, please stand up.
Well,
Amazing. So cool. Mate, thank you so much.
Anytime.